We are now recording. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here. And welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm hoping a couple more people are going to jump on tonight. Before I go anywhere else, Maggie, I don't want to put you on the spot, but it's your choice. You're really excited about something. Do you want to share it?
Well, it's really amazing how I believe everything in a life happens for a reason, and everything's kind of orchestrated. Like Len always talks about the universe coming to you. I've been wanting to write this book, and today I did the first chapter. Yesterday I did the introduction. I've got 6 more chapters to go, and I am like really, really excited because I've been wanting to do this since last year. And this is the first time I've had the chance. And I was really happy yesterday because Facebook went out because it let me focus on what I needed to get done. So I'm really excited.
Awesome. And congratulations. That's fantastic, Maggie. And Richard.
Way to go, Maggie.
Richard, not to do a one-ups or anything, but I want to say Richard finished his I don't know if you finished it, but it's pretty finished. Your book is done.
Pretty close.
Yeah, a couple of minor little details, little tweaks. Still tweaking the cover.
Yeah, and I got to get the format right, and yeah, there are a few tweaks.
Yeah. So
pretty close.
So
what's your book called?
It is "Be the Person My Dog Sees."
Oh, okay.
Be the person what?
Be the person my dog sees.
Your dog,
sees?
It is. I-S.
Do you have is?
I'm not understanding what you're saying. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. I'll
be the person my dog
sees.
Sees.
Yes.
S-E-E-S. Okay. Sees. Okay.
Yes.
For some reason I couldn't understand that last word. Yeah, I've seen the book. I couldn't understand what you were saying, so I thought maybe someone else couldn't understand it either.
I thought maybe I put the title different, the one that I sent you. I thought maybe I'd screwed up with the cover. Whatever.
Okay. Anybody else have any accomplishments they want to chat about for a moment before we kick into tonight's meeting?
Well, before I joined your group, I had signed on to do a collaborative book project, and we did the pre-launch, started yesterday with the Facebook.
Yep. Facebook dying.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty hysterical. But we're off and running, so it's fun.
Good. All right.
Yep.
Fran, I love the title of it. I think it's real catchy.
Thank you. Yeah, I love it too.
Okay, so tonight we're going to kick off our new direction for the coaching program for a while and see where we go to. So we're going to start the Hotseat Coaching program. Now, before I get started, and I volunteered to go first, and I think that's an appropriate thing. I wanted to kick this thing off. I did put a document up in the group today. Did anybody see it? Everybody see it? Nobody see it?
I didn't look at it yet.
Okay.
I haven't looked at it yet either.
Okay.
I don't have problems with Facebook. So.
I glanced at it, but that was about as far as I got.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to be following it here. And so I actually printed a copy and I have it in front of me. And there's several things as we kick off this program. First off, personal viewpoint. What we're about to do has the possibility of having immense value for each and every one of you if you actually take it seriously and participate in it. There's just enormous value in what's going to happen here, and I think you'll see that as we go on. And the idea for this does come from my friend, mentor, and buddy Steve Kribda, who is a Maxwell coach and a Ziegler coach. He's trained and certified in both programs, and he has been doing this sort of coaching, group coaching, for quite a while. And he's had his people get enormous benefit from it. They get tremendous benefit. I ran the outline of what we're going to start to do here past Steve and had him bless it and give me any comments he had, suggestions, and he just came back with it. That looks really good to me, Len. And so I think what we have here is going to have some value. So I'm going to kick it off tonight. Now, I encourage you to go get this document and print it and make one for yourself. As I understand, Charlene, you've actually volunteered to go next week, number 2.
Yes.
So that's fantastic. So we actually have somebody who's going to go number 2, and we'll just rotate through the group for the people that want to participate. Participation is not mandatory, but if you do, I think you'll get enormous benefit from it. I know myself from my own viewpoint, just having sat down and put this document together and then thought about it myself, I've seen some things in my own program, my own business, that I'm going to make some course corrections to. And so I feel like I've already benefited. So let's start. I did start the program by saying that we got to keep it clean. And this is, I mean, everyone has the right and the to see how I want to say this. Just keep it clean. I mean, no derogatory, no negative comments or derogatory comments. If you see something somebody's doing, we want to put constructive criticism, and we want to help people improve or make suggestions where maybe they can do something a little better or different. I mean, this is a mastermind group, and with a bunch of us looking at each one of our businesses, each person should get some, really good constructive feedback. So, and the last thing I want to say before I kick off tonight is don't come into tonight's session with the idea that I'm running the group, therefore I know more than you do. Not true. That's not true. Each one of you knows more than I do about something. Okay, I mean, it's just the way it is. So, I mean, I have no preconceived notions about that whatsoever. So let's just kick it off. So the first thing, and for those of you who haven't seen the statement or the outline, the first thing is, who are you? And my thought about that is to give a brief description of your background. Basically name, rank, and serial number. If I had one or two sentences to tell you who I am and what's important to me, what would I tell you? So I'm an outdoors-oriented person. I am single. I have been single for quite a long time. My wife died about 15 years ago from breast cancer. Well, we won't talk about what she died from. Some of you know my opinion about that. She got started with breast cancer, and then we did the conventional chemotherapy, radiation. And I know some people have had success with that, and some haven't. She didn't. But so I've been single for about 15 years. I'm extremely outdoors oriented, adventuresome. I love the water ski, snow ski, hike, backpack, camp. I love the RV. I love to travel. I'm a master scuba diver, and I don't say that to brag about it. Master scuba diver is the highest rank you can get in scuba diving without becoming a professional diver. And I don't want to be a professional diver. I just love to dive, and 70% of the earth is underwater, so diving is a really fun thing to do for me. It's an awesome thing to do. And I've been known to go down and lay on the bottom and fall asleep watching a fish swim around. So it's like I can have a really great time. And so that leads actually naturally into the next question. What is your big dream? And my big dream is really quite simple, to do more of all those things that I just mentioned. Where do I see myself in 5 years, say 3 to 5 years from now, and hopefully sooner. But we have to bite off the idea that this stuff takes time. And but where I see myself is traveling more, scuba diving more, skiing more, and basically I've lived all of my life. I've lived an outdoor life, and that's really where I want to be. My idea of a 5-star hotel is a sleeping bag on the ground under the stars. I have no use for big fancy hotels. They look like expensive prisons to me, because most of them don't even have a door to let you out of your room to go stand on the balcony. And In my prior life, I have traveled and stayed in many of the finest hotels in the world, and I just thank God I didn't have to pay for them because it was all business travel. And my background is that I've got 2 degrees in electrical engineering and all the coursework for a PhD in applied physics. And that might lead you to ask the next question was, why are you here? Which is question number 3, your online journey. How did I get here? So back without going too far back, I was in high technology for many, many years. I actually hold 2 patents. And I was actually on the board of people that defined the timing standards for the Pentium processors, which was that whole generation of processors in your computer. So I have a really high-tech background. And I say that not to brag about it, but that's one of my strong suits is that I can dig into anything technical and figure it out. I have no issue with technology at all, even though the technology has advanced dramatically. But how I got here is in the last decade, in 1990. What year are we in? Good Lord. In 2001, back in 2001, when my wife was diagnosed with cancer, we went on a long trip around the country, and we wound up in San Diego. And long story short, we bought a business. It was California Flight Academy. I owned a flight school, and I built that business up. And in 2008, the bottom came out, and we went from 120 students down to 20 students. I laid off 45 people. And by 2011, 2012, I was fundamentally penniless. I was just devastated financially. Now, having owned California Flight Academy, I got into the online world. I actually had gotten into it many years before, but let's not go back that far. I'd gotten into send-out cards, and I was using send-out cards as a vehicle to send students a picture of themselves when they did their first solo or when they got their private pilot's license. And so I was already in the online world. And when the school collapsed, I just went into the online world with a lot more zealous. So basically, I've been here in earnest for 5 years. And the reason I say that is because in 2011, 2012, when the whole thing came apart completely, I moved to the mountains and became a ski bum for 2 years. And that's insignificant because that's the lifestyle I want to live. So that's how I got here. What do I love to do? Well, besides burying my soul, what I love to do, as I told you last week, is I'm doing it right now. When I look back on my entire life, and this is really significant, I think, when I look back on my entire life, I've been a teacher all of my life. Now, I've never had a credential. I've never taught in the schools. I wasn't in grade school or high school, but I've been a teacher. Even in my high technology jobs, I traveled the world and I've been on hundreds of stages, literally hundreds. And what I did was I taught. I taught technology. For those of you who are in Asante, the same way we might teach people about the benefits of the benefits of non-toxic products, I was teaching the benefits of certain technologies, and I've stood on many, many, many stages. I've taught flying, I've taught skiing, I've taught scuba diving, you go on and on down through the list, and that's what I really love to do. So where I see myself going and what I want to do with the business, for my business, is that's the direction I want to head in. I don't see myself as a big network marketer. I don't see myself running $100,000 or 100,000 person team and making $50,000 a month or more in a network marketing business. I see the network marketing business more as a means to an end, and the end is to help people and to provide bases for me to continue to educate, teach, and etc. Plus help provide income for things like traveling the world, scuba diving, etc. Okay, so that's what I love to do. Now, and so, where am I today? And that's the next question. So this is where we begin to get the rubber onto the road. What am I doing right now? What does my business look like? So I'm in a network marketing company. For those of you who, we're all pretty much in the same family here. I'm in Hotseat Organics, and it's really your choice whether you want to divulge what company you're in or not. It's not important to me one way or the other. What is important is we don't do any cross promotion or cross recruiting. And I love the idea. I really do love the idea of being toxic free. I think that the disease rates in our environment, when I look back at my wife, and this is a big motivator. My wife died, and I personally believe that she died unnecessarily at a very young age. I think if I had known then what I know today, that I might have been able to. I don't know, but I sure wish I could go back and try to save her from the conventional treatments. And so that's one of my significant things that I really want to do. Why do I call this the Healthy, Wealthy, or the Wealthy, Healthy, Active Aging Society? Because what I want to help people do is, well, first off, we all need to have money as we age. And it's becoming a more and more significant issue. If you look at the statistics, very, very few people reach age 65 with any money in the bank. We're talking out of 100 people that start in their 20s, 5 are financially solvent at 65. 5. Only 5% of the population is solvent at age 65. The rest are either dead, or they're dependent on family, friends, or Social Security, or they're working at Walmart. They're a greeter at Walmart. And that's, to me, that's tragic. So helping to educate people with the things that we do about what their options are. Sometimes I feel like we need to take a 4x4 and hit them between the eyes, because it's hard to get their attention, but helping to educate people. So I'm in an MLM that's a health-related MLM. I am in a, as I think everybody knows, I'm in MLSP, and that has been, MLSP, quite honestly, has been my best source of income for the last several years. The affiliate program in MLSP has been my personal best source of income. I've struggled with building an MLM, and even though I had a group, I'm going to say had, past tense, I had a group of about 80 people in my Asante Don line. I don't have it anymore because I actually gave it to my grandson. I gave him that position, and I moved into a new position. So I actually moved just recently inside Asante. I bought another position in the company, which I have nobody under me right now. So I have multiple income streams. I have the MLM, I have MLSP, I have coaching, and not only the group coaching, but I do private one-on-one coaching, and I have AWeber and I have several other affiliate programs. So that's where I am today in the business. I'm still digging out of the financial hole that I was in, and part of the reason I'm digging out of it is, and part of the cash flow issues that I struggle with is that one of the things I had to do was turn a very expensive boat back to the bank, and had to tell them to come pick it up. And so I have several things on my credit report that aren't pretty. It's just like, and I'm still digging out of that. And the banks are still chasing me around, wondering when I'm going to pay my bill for the $30,000 boat that I handed them back, which they sold for pennies on the dollar. But that's a whole nother story. So I'm still struggle with cash flow, like many of us do, and things are better and better and better. I've just had a couple of really good months, and things are improving, and they have been steadily improving for the last year and a half or so. I'm almost to L3 in MLSP, so I'm making progress, and that's that. So, next question on my list is, what are one or two people you admire? And I really thought about this a lot. I admire Tony Robbins. I admire, like him or not as a president, I admire Donald Trump. I mean, the guy's an amazing guy. He may not be a good president. You may not think he is. You may think he is. I don't know, and I don't want to get into politics. But the guy's friggin' amazing. I think. But I love Tony Robbins. I love Eric Worre. I love those people. But I don't want to emulate them. I want to learn from them. Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny, that's a class that I would really love to go to. It's on my bucket list. I want to go to a Date with Destiny. But I don't want to emulate Tony Robbins. I'm not interested in running around the world. And I mean, this guy's in a different country. I mean, I don't mind going to different countries as long as my scuba gear's with me. And my objective is not to stand on stage for 72 hours nonstop. I mean, the guy goes 16 miles a day when he's on stage. I'm not interested. So where I see myself and where I'd like to take the business is I see myself doing this kind of thing. I see myself doing educational stuff. I see myself being able to fire up my laptop from my PC, which I actually did for a couple of years. I roamed around. Did I say PC? My RV. So some of the other people that I emulate right now. Steve Krivda is high on my list. I really like Steve Krivda. Why? First off, he's just straightforward, honest. I think he's a really honest, sensible, sensitive human being. I think he's very real. He's got a marvelous family. I would like to have a family again. I don't have one and haven't had one for, since my wife died, really. So I see myself, in the future, finding the right next Mrs. Mooney and moving into a relationship, a committed relationship. I like Katie Stage. I think she's just amazing. And I really, really love what she's doing. And when I first met Katie, and I see, we shouldn't be envious of people, but I've been following Katie a lot more recently. And the reason being is that when I first met her, she was way below me in all these areas. She just passed me. She's at L3. And I'm going, damn, how'd she do that? So I'm watching her more carefully now. One of the reasons, I was going to say something, but she's traveling and she's living a lifestyle that I would love to live. But she's traveling the country with her father, and they're RVing around the country, and they have been for a couple of years now. And I just love that she does her lives from a campfire right now they're in Nevada somewhere on a dry lake bed, and I love that lifestyle. So Brian, I don't know if you know who Brian Garcia is, and his girlfriend Erin. They've been traveling the world, and they're living the lifestyle. They're traveling the world, and they're running their business from a laptop anywhere in the world they are. And the other people that I really admire right now and I follow a lot are Jelena Ostrowski and Kay Sumji. Again, they're people that they're not so far ahead of me that crossing the chasm to where they are is an impossible step. I mean, if like I said last week, if we were to talk about Tony Robbins, for example, I mean, that's a chasm that not only is so huge, I wouldn't know how to cross it right now. I don't want to. But I can see crossing the chasm to where Jelena or Kay are, or those people. Next question on the list, your DMO. What do you do every day? What does your business really look like? Well, I have the morning routine that I preach about. I get out of bed. Typically, I'm up before 4:30, typical. And I have an alarm. I actually have an alarm set for 4 o'clock. And the reason for that is I usually wake up and I don't want to bother opening my eyes to look at the clock and see what time it is. And so if I haven't heard the alarm yet, I know it's not 4 o'clock yet. I don't have to open my eyes. I get up, I do a morning routine. I do Tai Chi, I go for a walk. I have a gratitude journal that I write in every day. And then I go on Facebook. I answer, I go back through and look at all the comments. I do, of course, Coffee with Len every morning. Coffee with Len has been a calling card for 5 years now, over 5 years. And the reason I continue to do it, even though I've had some pretty big marketers tell me, you're wasting your time. I don't think I'm wasting my time. I think that I have a significant following on Coffee with Len. It's amazing to me how many people will tell me, I see your video every day, but they never comment. They're just there. So I never really know how many people actually saw it, but I do know that people see it. So I do that. I usually deal with friend requests, and then whatever else I'm going to do. Like if I'm going to post in a few groups, I'm not a big posting in groups. To be honest with you, I'm not big on posting in groups. I teach posting in groups, and anyone who likes it and does it and has success with it, that's fine. I'm not big on it. I'm getting enough friend requests every day that posting in groups is not that significant, although I've been doing a little bit more of it for myself recently. Now, I don't want to say that and discourage you folks from posting in groups, but I'm in a sort of different position. Marketing methods. I want to wrap up my part of this in the next couple or 3 minutes. But so the next thing on the list is marketing methods. My primary marketing method has been and continues to be Facebook. I do have 3 websites. I have thousands of videos on YouTube. When I say I have thousands of videos, I literally mean that. I've been doing Coffee with Len for 5 years. I do it every day. That's 1,500 Coffee with Lens without doing anything else. Okay, and so I have 3 YouTube channels, and they're sort of a hodgepodge. There's something I need to do is to try to reorganize my YouTube channels. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't make that easy to do. But I'm primarily Facebook and Twitter right now. I'm moving more to Instagram. My cell phone is a piece of crap. I'm going to get a new cell phone next week, probably, and a much better cell phone. And I'm going to start doing. And I'm going to get right now I don't have a cell phone that works in Mexico, so that's held me back. I'm going to get a Mexican cell phone because I'm here in Mexico, and my U.S. cell phone doesn't really let me do things that I need to do. So I'm going to get a Mexican cell phone and hope that it doesn't speak Spanish at me all the time, because I'm not good at Spanish. But I think for me, I want to build my Instagram following up. I need to consolidate my YouTube channels somehow, and those are things that I want to look at. Self-development, next topic, what do you do for self-development? And this is something I want really everybody to take seriously. If you're not doing a morning routine in self-development, that's another topic we can talk about. What books are you reading right now? And you might find this to be a little bit crazy. One of the books I'm reading right now is Millionaire Success Habits. This is the new Dean Graziosi book, and I absolutely love it. I'm about halfway through the book. So this has been a really great book. I'm also reading Brendan Burchard's High Performance Habits. If you've never read anything of Brendan Burchard's, really excellent. I'm reading Any Singles Escape. I have Mind Boss. Now don't laugh. Mind Boss, Mike Gillette. And I've been going back through Ray and Jessica Higdon's Freakishly Effective Social Media Marketing, because I feel like this is a book that I feel like every time I read it, I learn something new and I go try something different. And I feel like I need to bring some new ideas back into what I'm doing on social media. And when me bringing in new ideas, then I bring them to you. Next question. What's holding you back? What do you need the most help with? What's the biggest weakness you see in yourself? Consistency. Did I freeze?
No.
No, okay. My personal biggest challenge, and it's the one I fight it all the time, is my lack of consistency in doing the same thing day in and day out at the same time. Like I do Coffee with Len very consistently. I don't post in groups consistently. I don't answer my comments consistently. I get very scattered sometimes, and I get spread, and I just, oh God, I haven't done I do birthdays, which I think I've taught you folks how to do, but I don't do them every day. I sometimes realize, oh God, I've gone 3 or 4 days and I haven't said happy birthday to anybody. So So one of my biggest challenges is me keeping myself consistent and on task, and just having my DMO, my list of things to do, and just doing it. You know, it's great to have a to-do list, but it's really important to remember to read your to-do list and then do it. And that's where I fall apart. I've got a great DMO if I just remember to get it out and read it. You know. The final question: what's cool about you? Tell us one thing you admire in yourself. And the reason I put that question there, to be honest with you, is I really want, as each of you go through this, I want to end it on a positive note of what do you like about yourself? What is it? If I ask you to give me one thing that you think is one of your really strong suits, what is it about you that's important? And I've got a sign up here that says low system resources. So anyhow, I think the two things that come to mind when I try to, figure out, okay, what do I like about myself? Am I here? Yeah, I'm here. Okay, well, first off, my technology background really helps me a lot. There isn't anything I can't figure out technically. I really want to help people. I really have a lot of empathy for people, and I think that that's a very powerful asset. While I want to make money, making money is not my primary objective. It has never been my primary objective. But I do want to make enough money to put gas in my RV and pay for my scuba diving trips. I mean, that's the bottom line. I have to make money. I can't. And in fact, one of the critiques that I have had from many top marketers is I don't charge nearly enough for my services, and I don't realize my own value. And I think that's my weakest point, is that I don't really realize my own value and really charge what I'm worth. And I'm working at changing that. So that's nobody said anything. Nobody has any comments, suggestions, ideas, criticisms, or you're just fascinated or bored.
Well, you were just talking and telling us, so we just listened. It was the listening portion.
I was trying to play close attention because you were kind of gargled a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You were fine. You were fine here.
I could hear you.
Yeah, I could hear it fine. I didn't have any trouble hearing it.
Okay.
I don't know what that is.
So does anybody see anything that you would like to throw at me and say, well, why don't you try this, or maybe you should do this, or any suggestions? And that was me trying to grab a bug.
Well, I think, you say your weakness is your DMO, that you don't follow it. So, I mean, I think you just have to, I think that's most probably all of ours, or,
Yep.
And establishing a DMO, right? So, you have, you need to get, you need to have it available or post it or whatever, and check it off every day.
Yep. Yeah,
And,
I agree. That is one of the things that I really need to focus energy on and make sure I do it.
I know you've got a lot of classes you do, so I think in the morning, probably one of the things that's holding you back is, I don't know about you, but I don't like doing the same thing over and over and over again. Exactly. So if you just kind of switch it up, a little bit of, okay, you have a list, 4 or 5 things, you can change the order. Instead of being in one room, you can be in another room, or you can sit outside, kind of do a few things to just change it up so that it seems like you have a little variety going on.
Yeah, and that's actually a very powerful idea. That's a great idea, Maggie. It's a powerful suggestion. And there are a number of top producers that have made a similar type of suggestion. So you're in good.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Now you know where you belong, in the top.
Yep. Well, thank you. Thanks for the compliment.
Well, it's true. It's true. Yep. Yeah. DMO, I think, very important, and that is an area that I struggle with keeping myself on tack. And I think, Maggie, that's the problem. I mean, you really just hit the nail on the head, because I get bored doing the same thing over and over and over. So
Nobody wants to do the same thing over and over. I mean, why would you? You know, that's like work. But if you can switch it up and do something different, and some days my list is bigger than others. And I know personally that when my other half throws a curve and all of a sudden we're going and doing something and it's not really in what I particularly planned, I just have to work around it. And, you know, things happen, but you have to figure out how to prioritize. And I know you know how to do that. I mean, it's obvious every week you're here, you're always on all the trainings for us. I mean, it's not like you don't show up.
No, I show up. That's definitely one of my strong suits. I show up. I'm there. Yeah. Okay. Anybody else have any comments?
Well, I think, you know, I think you're doing what you love. I think that's important. I think, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I see France doing what she loves. I don't know what everybody else does, but if you don't do what you love, then it's more of a struggle, right? Or if you're trying to find what you love, it's still a struggle. So
Yeah.
I think that's the key thing. But you've been doing this long enough, you know what that is. I think it takes a while for people to really understand. I mean, I think we all love helping people, or we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. We all have that desire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to throw in too, Lynn, you do some of the same stuff that I do, like kind of spread yourself kind of thin. That's one of my biggest problems is I spread myself kind of thin, try to get too much done in one day.
Yep. No, for sure. I feel like sometimes I'm all over the place. It's just like, rather than staying focused and consistent, just focus. And, you know, here's the thing, I'll come back to it. And I agree with you, Maggie. But on the other hand, if we want to achieve an objective, we sort of have to stay focused on it too. So there has to be a balance. And I lose the balance sometimes. I just go.
You're having a problem with the focus part.
Yeah. And I always have all my life. It's just, you know, I like to scuba dive and ski and snow ski and rock climb and blah, blah, blah. You know, what do you really like to do? Everything.
Keep your list in front of you then.
Len, you're Aries. We call that being Aries.
Well, is that really a trait of an Aries?
Aries loves to start things and then loses interest, and it's hard for them to keep going.
That is really
they love
hard.
to be active. I mean, Mars is the planet of energy. That's Aries. So, yeah.
And yes, it is really hard for me. It is not uncommon for me to get halfway through a project and then just get bored with it, and then like
And then go on to something else.
Finishing the course on publishing your first book. Like I was halfway through that course and then I got sidetracked and I got bored, and I had to pull myself back in by the reins and sit myself down and talk to myself. So
it's not easy for, you know, like, yeah, I don't know your whole chart, but just your sun sign alone, when you're talking about all the outdoors and the way that's, you know, very Aries, you know, liking that adventure and doing and whatever. And then you just love to initiate this, and then something else gets your attention that you want to start.
Yep.
And you got to realize that some days, you know, may not be the best days to do things. You know, I have weird things that happen in my life with my health, you know, the environment, and I respond to my environment. And just this last month, it's been the worst, and I haven't had any problem for maybe 8 months. So you have to deal with, you know, the external factors too.
No, absolutely. And I do find, I do honestly see that I definitely have a weather-related cycle that I go through. On the days that it's raining, really raining, I get very lethargic. I just want to lay on the couch and listen to the rain. It's very hard for me to stay focused on anything, internet or business-wise.
Might be higher CO2 levels.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. As you know, I have to get off. I have another webinar in 15, actually 20 minutes. So I've got to go really quick here. So what do you think about the format? Does anybody have any suggestions or ideas? Or I really love it if you would print this thing or at least go look at it. You know, does everybody know where to find it?
Yeah, I have a copy.
Awesome, Cynthia. Does anybody have a question about where to find it?
Up in the files or something?
In the files.
Yeah,
In the files.
I found it.
Okay.
I found it. Opened this up on my other screen.
Great. Okay, fine.
I just didn't get.
How do you feel about the format? Anybody have any ideas or suggestions or criticisms or accolades or?
I think it's really good.
Okay.
Really good questions to think about.
Okay.
Yeah, I think some of the questions are harder for me. I mean, I'm sure some of them are for all of us, right? So some will be easy, some will be harder, but I think that's a good thing. We need to be challenged a little bit.
But I think, as you said, that when you went through it, you started to see different things that you can do differently. Just going through this process can be very enlightening.
Yes.
And then speaking it, when we say it, you know, it's like there's something good about that.
Bringing
Well,
it.
let's carry on. And let's see, Charlene, you're on for Tuesday night? You still on? Haven't scared you away yet?
No, I already have mine written out.
Awesome.
Oh,
Awesome. Good for you. All right. And then obviously someone's going to have to go next and next and next and next. And again, participation is not mandatory. I mean, if somebody says, I don't want to do this,
I'll go.
it's your choice. Who's that? Richard? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Great. So we'll put Richard after Charlene. And I don't know if we should do this Tuesday and Thursday or just start on Tuesdays next week and then keep Thursdays for Q&A. I'll let you guys think about that. We'll talk about it on Tuesday. How we want to structure it, whether we want to do 2 of these a week or 1 a week and et cetera. Or maybe in the beginning we do 2 a week so we get through everybody who wants to participate and then we back it off. So that would be another thought. So anyhow.
I got a question there. I can't find this file. This printouts that you're talking about.
Sorry, say again, Leighton?
I can't find the printout that you're talking about.
You can, in the file section of the group?
you just have to scroll down and it'll have today's date, I think, or yesterday's on it.
Let me do real quick. I've got to do this really quick because I've got to get over to the next thing. So over in, let's see if we get Facebook going here. There we go. It's going. All right. Over in the healthy, wealthy, aging, low system resources may affect my audio quality. Okay. I got that.
I've got the same problem.
Over in the files, can you see the file section right there?
Yeah.
Right where?
Right where my pointer is, files.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Click on files and then go scroll down the files. It should be right at the top. There it is right at the top.
Okay. Let me go over and look at that real quick.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All righty.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Well, I'll see you Tuesday. Have a great weekend. I'm here for you if you need my help. And we got some books ready. Oh, books going to press. Awesome.
I know, it's amazing. It's amazing. Mine's a long one, so it's going to take longer.
I have one that I've pretty much all put together. It's not very long. It's going to be like an ebook.
And by the way, for those of you who know Doug Rutherford, he's not been in the coaching group, but he updated his, we did an ebook for him on sailing. He bought the course, he updated his sailing book. And Cynthia, I'm suggesting maybe we need to update your essential oils book.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
okay. All right. Let me go, everybody. I'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Be